What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Migz here, and today I bring you a Springans Fallen of Albaz deck profile. It's a casual deck profile again, so keep that in mind. And also, please like, subscribe, and comment. All right, let's start off with the monsters. All right, here we are with the monsters. It's an Albaz deck, so you got to play triple Fallen of Albaz. Pretty much, everybody knows what this does. You can fuse with your opponent's monster. And then also it's the main guy, the guy of the deck. It makes the deck run. Then we play triple Springans brothers. If this card is sent from your hand or the deck to the graveyard, I can target one Springans monster in my graveyard except this card and special summon in a defense mode, which is nice. The other effect is you can attach it from your hand to the grave to a Springans card. So all the Springans do that. They can attach themselves from hand or grave. Next is triple Springans Captain Sargus. This one, if it's attached to a Springans, it gains an attack. Then if this is on the field, I can negate one effect by detaching one material from another Springans monster. Then double Springans Branga. This is the Searcher. You banish itself and another Springans to search a Springans card. This is double Springans Rocky. When it's normal summon, you can target a field spell or a Springans card and add it to your hand. Then we play double Albion, the Shrouded Dragon. This card's name becomes the Fallen Albaz when on the field or in the graveyard. If this card is in your hand or the graveyard, I can send one Fallen Albaz or Abundant Spell Trap from my hand or deck to the graveyard. Then apply one of the following effects. I can special summon this card if it's from my hand. If it's from the deck, place this card at the bottom of your deck and then draw one card. So it's nice. It's another Albaz card and it plays really well with the Springans card. Then I play double Gold Gadget because all the Springans are machine. Double Silver Gadget. And then one Springans Pedor. It's just tribute, and then you can special summon a Springans monster. Then some hand traps. Phantasme. Double Veiler. And one Drolin Lock. Again, this is a pure casual build. It's meant to have fun. Just try out the deck. But okay, let's move on to the spells. All right, here are the spells. You play triple Springans Watch. When you activate it, you can add the field spell. Or if the field spell is already on the field, I can add one Springans monster from my deck to my hand and then send one to the graveyard, which is pretty nutty. So, which is why you play 3 of the field spell. Great Grand Sea Gold Gaganda. All of my Springans XZ monsters I control gain 1,000 attack. If I control no monsters, I can discard one Springans monster and then special summon one XZs from my extra deck. Then when one of my XZ's monsters leaves the field, I can target one monster that your opponent controls and it cannot attack for the rest of the turn. So it's a nice protection. Then we have double Springans Booty. This says if a face-up XZ's monster you control leaves the field by a card effect, I can target one effect monster my opponent controls. Then neither player can activate that effect's monsters in the field or in the grave. Then I can send this card directly from my spell and trap card zone to the grave to activate one of the field spell directly from my deck. So you have 2 ways. You have 5, 6 ways because I play Turf Warning to search the field spell. Double XZ import. It's a nice interruption, and also take your opponent's monster and attach it to one of my XZs as material, and 1 terraforming for that. And that rounds up the spells and trap. The spells. Let's move on to the traps. Here we are with the traps. I play double Springans Blast. It says if I control Springans monster, I can choose one opponent's main monster zone, and if a monster face up in that zone, I cannot attack. Also, its effects are negated. It's a nice effect negation. Then 1 Judgment of the Branded. I can target one level 8 or higher fusion monster I control. Destroy all monsters my opponent controls with equal to or higher attack than that monster. Then during the end phase, if I use this card to activate a Fallen of Albaz effect, I can set it. So that's why I play the Fallen of Albaz and the Fallen Dragon of Albaz. Then the same thing, Screams of the Branded. Fusion monster I control is sent to the graveyard. I can special summon one of my fusion monsters that's banished or in my graveyard. Then during the end phase, the same thing. If an effect of the Fallen Albaz was activated, I can set it. So that's the traps. Now let's move on to the extra deck. All right, here is the extra deck. I play triple Springans Merrymaker. When it's XC summoned, I can send one Springans monster from my deck to the grave. Then if I can banish it, then if it was banished with 2 or more materials, I can send one fusion monster that lists the Fallen of Albaz in its name from my extra deck to the grave. Then I play triple Springans Exoblower. I can detach any number of materials, then target one of my opponent's columns, and then depending on the materials I detached, I destroy that many cards adjacent to it. And then also I can banish itself, and it comes back during my end phase, which is how both of those trigger the field spell. Then I play 3 Sprind the Iron Dash Dragon. This is 1 Fallen of Albaz and 1 effect monster special summon this turn. During my main phase, I can move this card's columns. Then I can destroy all face-up cards in that column. Then if this card is sent to the graveyard during the end phase, I can special summon 1 Fallen of Albaz or 1 Springans monster from my deck. Then here I play double Albion the Banded Dragon. It's 1 Fallen of Albaz and 1 Light monster. If this card's fusion summon, I can fusion summon a level 8 or lower fusion monster from my extra deck, except itself, by banishing materials from my hand, field, or graveyard. So that's how I get to banish materials and bring back cards with the trap card. And again, if it's in the grave, I can special summon a Fallen of Albaz from my graveyard, or I can set 1 branded spell or trap. Then I played Brigand the Glory Dragon, 1 Fallen of Albaz and 1 level 8 monster. Cannot be targeted by other. You cannot target other monsters I control with attacks when this card is fusion summoned. Then again, the same thing. When it's in the graveyard, I summon the Fallen of Albaz, and then this one, Titaniclad, the Ash Dragon, gains attack equal to the combined levels of the monsters I use for it, and it's a Fallen of Albaz and 1 monster with 2,500 or more attack. So that rounds up the extra deck. As you can see, you know, it's a lot of Albaz fusion based, but it's fun. You know, Fallen of Albaz goes into a lot of different decks. I know it's getting its own structure deck, but I like to fuse it with the Springans because they work hand in hand. All right, here we go with the combo video. 4 and 5. This deck can go either first or second, so I'm going to go first. I'm going to activate the field spell. Then I'm going to play Springans Watch. Because I have the field spell, I can add 1 Springans monster from my deck to my hand. Then I can send 1 Springans from my deck to my graveyard. So, seeing as I have these guys, I'm going to add Springans Pedor to my hand, and then I'm going to actually, you know what? No. Actually, yeah. I'm gonna add Springans Pedor to my hand, and then I'm going to send Springans Branga to the grave. Okay. Then I can activate Great Sea Gold Gaganda's effect because I don't have a XE monster. I can activate its effect, so I can discard 1 Springans card and special summon 1 XE's monster. So I'm gonna discard Springans Brothers to special summon Springans Merrymaker. Then Springan Brothers' effect activates. If I send this card from my deck or hand to the graveyard, I can target 1 Springans monster in my graveyard and special summon it. So I won't do that yet, so I won't activate the effect. First, I'm gonna normal summon Pedor. I'm gonna activate its effect, tribute it to special summon Springans Brothers. Then I'm gonna activate Branga's effect, banish itself and Pedor to add 1 Springans monster with a different name from my deck to my grave to my hand. I can add 1 Springans card from my deck to my hand. So I'm going to go ahead and add Springans Booty. I'm gonna add Springans Booty. So I'm gonna activate Springans Booty. Then I'm gonna activate Brothers Effect to attach itself to Merrymaker. Then I'm gonna add Captain Sargus' effect to attach itself to Springans Merrymaker. Then I'm gonna activate Albaz the Shot and Dragons effect. I can send 1 Brandon spell trap card. So I'm gonna go ahead and send Judgment of the Branded. Then I can put this card at the bottom of my deck. Put it at the bottom of my deck and then draw one. All draw and lock, nice for next turn. And now, if you have them pass, then I can activate Merrymaker's effect. I can banish it with 2 materials. So I'm gonna banish it with 2 materials, right? Then I can send one monster from my extra deck that lists the Fallen of Albaz. So I can send Spring, the Iron Dash Dragon. Now my Springans booty activates. I can negate one of their monsters' effects, and then my Gold Gaganda activates. One of their monsters can't attack. And then during the end phase, this comes back, and during the end phase, the Iron Dash Dragon activates. So I can either special summon the Fallen of Albaz and fuse, but realistically you would have used that draw, so I can special summon Springans Captain, just so he's a big body, and he can activate his effect. Then you go next turn, you draw, you got Fallen of Albaz, then you just activate every Springans card in the grave. And then now you can go off, you can attack and do all these things. Let's go to the going second, shall we? All right, here we are going second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got a Veiler, and then 6. Okay, so first you want to activate Terraforming. You add the field spell, you activate the field spell. Then you want to activate Springans Brothers Great Sea Gold Gaganda's effect to special summon Springans Exoship. Then Springans Brothers effect, you can send one Springans monster from your deck to the grave. So you send Captain Sargus. Then here, depending how many monsters they have, you could do Fallen of Albaz, normal summon Fallen of Albaz, activate effect. You discard Branga. Then you fuse. So depending what they have, you can fuse. Let's say they have a monster with 2,500 or more attack. Or let's say they have one effect monster special summon this turn. Nope. So let's just say they do that. You do Titaniclad just to get rid of it. Then you can activate XE Import to attach one of their other monsters' effects. Then you can activate Springans Branga's effect, banish itself and Springans Brothers to search Springans card. And here you want to search Springans Watch, because you activate Springans Watch. You add one Springans to your hand, and then you send one to the grave. So I'm gonna add one Springans Captain Sargus to my hand, and then I'm gonna send another Springans Branga to the grave. Then I'm gonna equip my Sargus. I'm gonna equip my other Sargus, and then equip my Branga. So that's 4 materials. Then you could activate its effect, banishing however many. So say they have 3 cards on the field, you can banish 3 materials. So that's 1 of theirs, 2 and 3. Then you target whatever, and it pops the adjacent cards. So say they have 1 spell trap, 2 spell traps here, and a monster here. You can target the monster, and then it'll pop the cards behind in the back row. And then you banish it, and then you can just attack with Titaniclad. And then end phase, this comes back. You can bring it in defense mode. So yeah, that's some pretty neat combos with the Fallen of Albaz. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. It's your boy Migz signing off. Thanks again.